Sean Diddy Combs is facing yet another wave of legal scrutiny, and this latest development could prove to be one of the most serious challenges yet. Just when it seemed the courtroom battle surrounding him couldn't become any more complicated, a newly filed lawsuit has introduced allegations that have reignited public attention. As more details continue to surface, the questions surrounding his future only grow louder. What makes this case stand out isn't just who is making the accusations, it's the circumstances described in the lawsuit itself. The claims paint a troubling picture that has already sparked widespread discussion online. Before looking at what the lawsuit alleges, here's what was revealed.
Just let you know that everything was not consensual, sir. Please don't say that. It was not consensual. Even Diddy admitted.
This is the defense team, ma'am. Let's ask them a question.
Yes, but he did allegedly.
All right, Queen. All right, Queen.
We are planning to appeal.
Man, I want to hear them, bro.
We are planning to appeal. We think we have strong.
The allegations immediately triggered strong reactions, with many waiting to see how Diddy's legal team would respond. Given the seriousness of the claims, it didn't take long before an official statement was released attempting to push back against the lawsuit. The response would add another layer to an already heated legal battle.
Suit filed in the state of California, the former child actor claims Combs guided him into a back room during that networking event to speak to him privately about some potential opportunities, including a project Combs was producing. According to the lawsuit, after beginning to feel the effects of the drink offered to him by Combs, the minor said Combs began to touch him despite telling him that he didn't feel comfortable, adding, Combs pulled down his pants and began to touch his genitalia while Combs was.
While his attorneys firmly rejected the accusations, the timing of this lawsuit has intensified the conversation surrounding Diddy's ongoing legal problems. Although he avoided conviction on the most severe federal charges during his recent trial, he remains incarcerated after being found guilty on lesser offenses. Now another issue has caught the public's attention, reports suggesting that his prison sentence has been reduced more than once. That development has raised obvious questions. Was it connected to his conduct behind bars, or was there another explanation entirely? Before drawing conclusions, it's worth hearing how legal experts have interpreted those reports.
Defense attorney Adam Conta, who was with us live from the federal courthouse for many, many weeks as that trial went on, and for the verdict and understanding everything that was happening. But Adam, thank you so much for joining us. And what do you make of this latest change? Because how do you get in trouble and then it gets shortened?
Yeah, no, I think it's just two very separate issues that are easy to put together because it's sort of happening close in time. I think they're completely unrelated, though. I think he got into an incident that actually landed him in solitary confinement, which is obviously the most restrictive, the most harsh form of imprisonment that we have in our society. And then right after that, it comes out that his sentence has been reduced and reduced again. But I think that there's a very simple answer for this. One is that defendants get good time on their sentences, and so sometimes sentences just get reduced for general good credit, essentially. But this is more specific. He, as part of this whole case, he said during a sentencing, that he let sort of drugs and alcohol and excess get in the way of his life. And so he sort of established with like the ketamine and the MDMA, that drugs were at least part of what was going on here. And so when he got to Fort Dix, the prison he's in New Jersey, the federal prison he's in, he entered into what's called RDEP, a residential drug abuse program. It's offered to many defendants in situations like this. And if you complete that program, you can get up to a year taken off your sentence. And so that hasn't necessarily been reported as what's definitely happening, but I really, really would be surprised if it's.
Even if prison officials ultimately determine that the reported incident doesn't affect his standing, many believe Diddy's celebrity status places him in a uniquely difficult position. High-profile inmates often face challenges that extend well beyond their legal cases, making every rumor and report even more significant. Meanwhile, attention is shifted toward another major question: exactly when Diddy could walk free? With multiple sentence adjustments reportedly taking place, many people are wondering whether the timeline has changed more dramatically than expected.
The situation was with that. I mean, the reality is he's a very famous inmate. That makes him a target for a lot of other inmates. And we don't know if he was provoked, if the other person was the main target. We don't know anything really surrounding those facts. And so if you take that kind of out as just sort of an incident that happens and you look at everything else, you have to assume that he's doing everything that the program is requiring. And a lot of that is just, quite honestly, just self-reflective work that you would see in a lot of treatment programs on the outside, but they're just offered this benefit while they're incarcerated.
Okay, so there's also this kind of ongoing appeal, and then the denial, and then the appeal of the denial. I reached out to his representative and I said, what's your response to the story that has been out about the time being taken down, and what's the status of this appeal? And the spokesperson for Diddy told me, quote, "At this point, we do not have the necessary information to respond with any clarity," end quote. Can you translate that for us?
Yeah, I mean, they're trying to appeal. They're trying to appeal the sentence because he was really only convicted of two things, right? 2 counts of engaging in prostitution that crossed state lines, engaging in transportation for the purposes of prostitution, meaning that they found that prostitutes were driven across state lines for these freak-offs. The main point of the appeal is that the defense team says that the judge, in sentencing him to 50 months, which is a high sentence for those 2 charges, that sentencing him to those 50 months, the judge relied on these claims that these workers were forced, coerced, and really did all these things against their will. And that really wasn't what he was found guilty of. And that wasn't really the evidence that was presented at trial that the jury relied on in order to get to their verdict. And so, the judge is essentially saying, listen, I'm allowed to rely on relevant conduct. Even if he was acquitted, I can rely on relevant conduct to take that into consideration when I sentence. And so the judge is essentially saying, I think he did bad things, and even if he wasn't convicted of them, I can still take that into consideration.
If those projections remain accurate, Diddy's release may arrive sooner than many anticipated. That reality has fueled speculation that his legal strategy is becoming less about shortening his prison stay and more about protecting his long-term public image. Even so, life behind bars has remained the subject of constant rumors, many of which continue spreading faster than confirmed information. According to ongoing speculation, prison conditions have been anything but easy. Reports ranging from alleged altercations to health rumors have circulated online, leaving many people wondering what is actually happening behind prison walls.
His release date now, after the latest reduction, is scheduled for January 24th of 2028. So we're talking about 18 months.
Right.
The legal system just doesn't work that fast to begin with.
Yeah, exactly.
So ultimately, what he would be doing is try to sort of do an appeal to clear his name and reputation more than functionally reducing his sentence, I think.
Right. Exactly. And anything we should be watching for in this, or do you think it's just gonna play out, or maybe they'll time out the clock on it, the feds, the court?
Well, I think we're going to keep beating the same drum because it's the one that the public will certainly resonate with. If nothing else, I mean, listen, Diddy has surrounded himself with very smart people. He's got really smart attorneys. He also has really, really savvy media. And maybe the goal isn't the goal here. You know what I mean? Like, maybe the goal here isn't to actually get him out early, but it's to keep saying in public he's being punished for crimes he was acquitted of.
Right.
That's how you build a comeback story. That's how you build an underdog. That's how you get the public maybe back on your side. I have no idea if that's anyone's goal here, but that's certainly at least a possibility of what their ulterior sort of motivations for kind of keep doing this would be, even if they think that the reduction.
To understand why these stories gain so much traction, it's important to go back to the beginning, starting with the sentence that placed Diddy behind bars and the courtroom hearing that marked a major turning point in his case.
If Puffy has a boyfriend right now in jail, what do you think?
I believe Puffy may have engaged in some activity.
Right. They say the inmates, they fight each other over the right to make his bed in the morning.
Anybody doing that is participating in the activity. If that's true, like, I don't know. I don't think Puffy would have to say that. But what do you think about that phone call?
Which one?
With him and his son.
Nah, I didn't hear it.
What, you didn't, come on.
Nah, I didn't hear it. But which phone call?
Who does your research for you? Just you?
Nah, I got an assistant.
Yeah, you need to talk to him.
Okay.
The prison called him and his son when he's talking about, is Jay-Z getting back to you? Not responding. Then he said, okay. Everybody out there quiet all of a sudden, huh? He said, yeah, he said, don't worry about it. He said, yo, such and such want to know what to do about his car note. He told him, yo, man, tell him to go host a show or something. Don't he see what I'm dealing with? He said, but everybody's getting their laughs on, but we'll get the last laugh. It's a jail call. I don't know how you ain't got that, but it's crazy. Yeah. You gotta come back to the 100-sided clubhouse.
Okay, yeah, whatever you want.
You gotta come back.
Whatever you want, man. I've been on before.
This is content.
This is content.
Like, supposed to. Academics gives us our props. He tells us every morning,
Okay.
I go to the 100-sided clubhouse, replays, and get content. But yeah, that phone call was wild, bro.
I would check it out.
Yeah, it was wild. Like,
hold on. Let me see if I
it
can
gotta
find
be
it.
up. It's no way.
Hold on. Twitter's usually a good place for this. So
Yeah,
this
that
is
phone call was wild.
a Diddy call.
Shell
with,
call
with,
to his son. One of
with
his sons.
Justin? Or
Yeah, one of them. Yeah, it was and I could tell he's kind of adapting. You know, I could hit aggression and he like on some, you know, his mentality.
From that point forward, prison life became an entirely different reality, bringing strict routines, limited communication, and constant supervision. Yet despite those restrictions, reports continued emerging that suggested the story was far from over.
We gotta give her a bottle then.
Combs' attorneys presented an 11-minute pre-produced video in court highlighting his family, career, and philanthropy. He wept as 6 of his children asked the judge for leniency. Combs' 18-year-old daughter, Delilah, pleading for a chance for her family to heal together. Combs then addressed the court himself, apologizing to his children and to Ventura. I lost my businesses, my career, destroyed my reputation, lost my self-respect. He told the judge, I've been humbled and broken to my core. I hate myself right now. Ultimately, the judge acknowledged the defense's characterization of Combs, but said a history of good works can't wash away the record of this case. And he ended by thanking the victims who testified, telling them, I am proud of you for coming to the court to tell the world what really happened.
And the judge previously said Combs' year spent in prison would count.
The strict routines and constant monitoring inside prison did little to slow the rumors surrounding Diddy. As speculation continued to spread online, stories about alleged incidents behind bars became a major topic of discussion. While many of these claims remain unverified, they have fueled ongoing debate about what life has really been like for the music mogul since entering federal custody.
Diddy, obviously just starting out his time, well, not just starting out, but starting out his official sentence since being...
It does seem like it was an intimidation tactic, and it sounds like the guy could have obviously, again, hurt Diddy very badly.
Whether every report is accurate or not, there's no denying that public perception has shifted dramatically. As new lawsuits and allegations continue to emerge, many believe the circle of influential people once surrounding Diddy has steadily grown smaller. One name that repeatedly surfaced during these discussions was legendary music executive Clive Davis, whose influence on the industry spanned decades. Reports and online speculation suggested that Diddy was deeply affected after learning of Davis's passing. To some observers, it represented more than the loss of a respected industry figure. It symbolized the disappearance of one of the last powerful names many believed still carried influence behind the scenes. That speculation only intensified because of Davis's public silence throughout Diddy's legal troubles.
Before he passed, every time Alicia Keys opens her mouth to a bad note, and people pretend.
Every time reporters tried to ask Davis about Diddy, they were met with the same response: no public comment. That silence became a story of its own, leading many to wonder whether conversations were taking place privately while nothing was being said publicly. Once Davis passed away, those questions only became louder.
Curious about the status of P. Diddy.
Status of what?
P. Diddy. Diddy.
Like puppy. The status of puppy.
What do you make of that situation? All right. No comment from Clive Davis on P. Diddy. Mr. Davis, you're a major influence on the career of P. Diddy. Have you spoken to him since the federal raid? Have you spoken to Sean Combs? Any comment, Mr. Davis? Any comments about Diddy? He credits you as one of his mentors.
As attention shifted toward the changing relationships within the entertainment industry, Diddy's legal problems continued expanding. New civil lawsuits appeared, additional individuals came forward, and more allegations entered the public spotlight. Among the most widely discussed claims were those made by former model Adria English, who described how her association with Diddy allegedly began.
Davis,
According to her account, what initially appeared to be a promising opportunity eventually became something very different. Her allegations added another chapter to the growing number of claims that have surrounded Diddy over the past several years. Shortly afterward, Jaguar Wright weighed in once again, sharing her own opinions during another interview that quickly circulated across social media.
All had dreams to meet Diddy, so then fast forward, Anthony ends up getting called to audition for Diddy for the Sean John campaign. So he never invites me along to his auditions or his go-sees, but this particular day he invited me because he knew I was a fan. Like, he knew I was going to be mad he went to the damn thing and you didn't take me, you know what I mean? Because I wanted to meet people and stuff. I was already a dancer. I was already moving and shaking. I already had a gang of athletes and whatever, but the music industry, because I rap and sing, that's where I wanted to get into. So, long story short, we sitting in the waiting room, and one of his homeboys that frequents our apartment comes out of the thing, and he's looking mellow mad, like, shh. And so, low-key, me and Anthony laughing. We like, he must not have booked it. Like, he's salty. Like, we laughing to each other, like, you know. And then they called him. And then when they called him, I'm like, yeah, you got this, my nigga. Like, you know, I'm dapping on you. And then that's when two-way pages was out. So when they called, I flipped my two-way up. So I'm on my two-way lining up some money for later on. All of a sudden, I just hear, man, that. And the door that flew up, and it was, I'm like, what? And like, Anthony is a very good-looking guy. His mother is, African-American black lady, and his father is an Italian man. And actually, the wine, Gallo wine, that's his family. And allegedly, his dad got, basically shunned from his family for choosing up on a black woman. And he went on to have a few kids, and all of them are boys, and they're all very good-looking guys. But his dad chose to be poor to follow his heart and be with a black woman. And so, allegedly, his dad still to this day rides a bike in Northern California. He's from Northern California. He had moved down to L.A., and so even though he was a good-looking guy mixed with black and Italian, he wasn't no punk. Like, it wasn't no gay in him. It wasn't no, bitch in him. Like, he was like a thug, but he was a pretty boy. So, like, I guess they underestimated him, thinking that because he was so good-looking that he go that way. So he was more than offended. He was on some gangster shit. Like, he got me fucked up. So when we were in the elevator, I was like, well, what happened? He was like, man, he gave me that look like, man, shut the f-. And I was like, all right, because it was people in the elevator. So I was like, all right. So when we got, out the elevator, I'm like, what's up? I'm like, why are you tripping? He was like, man, asked me to suck his dick. I said, who asked you to suck his dick? He said, Puffy. We was calling him Puffy back then, Puff. And I said, no, he didn't. And it broke my heart, broke an arm, and I was like, nah. And he was like, he asked me to suck his dick. I was like, oh. I was like, well, then, I see why, you know what I mean?
Jaguar Wright has consistently argued that the allegations made public so far represent only a fraction of the overall story. Whether those claims ultimately lead to additional legal action remains to be seen, but the combination of lawsuits, speculation, and ongoing public interest has ensured that Diddy's legal situation remains one of the most closely followed celebrity cases today.
She got a show on YouTube called The Pink Champs, and she does her morning show on Instagram, Jonesy in the morning, and she's been in radio for a long time, but I remember her back when she first got signed as Miss Jones, as an artist, and her and I had an interesting connection. It was really cool to sit down and do that interview with her. We talked for like 2.5 hours. And earlier this week, I think it was Fit It All Is.
With new lawsuits continuing to surface and debate surrounding his prison sentence still ongoing, many questions remain unanswered. What happens next will likely depend on future court proceedings and any additional evidence that emerges. Do you think federal authorities should further investigate the claims and rumors surrounding Diddy? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below.